Hi everyone, how you doing? Hope that your day is going well so far. I know it's early in the morning, so we're going to get right down to work here. Today you're going to be doing the last thing in this unit, which is going to be translating from verbal phrases to algebraic expressions. So you're going to be going from words to numbers and from numbers to words. Um, so we have some notes that we're going to go through. I know there's not a do now, it's going to be more watching this video. So we're going to go through some notes. Miss Booth is going to pause the video at a couple points for you to work on some stuff on your own. You're going to make some lists as a class, and then I'll fill in any blanks that you have remaining. So if you could take out your green sheet of notes, we'll get started. So we're going to be going through translating from written phrases to numerical expressions and back. So the very first thing we want to do is go ahead and write our I can statement. So you should write down somewhere on your notes, I can translate between written, running out of room there, phrases and numerical expressions. So written phrases are things that are in words, obviously, and numerical expressions are things that are in numbers with symbols, equal signs, multiplication, division, that kind of thing. So we want to be able to go back and forth between written phrases and numerical expressions. So math problems are often contextualized to make them applicable to the real world. You need to identify keywords that tell you what to do in these problems. So we've kind of been working on this. People have been having some trouble, so we're going to do a little bit of practice right now. So what I'd actually like you to do is you have this table underneath that has addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and then a column for other. So what I'd like you to do right now, if Miss Booth would pause the video in just a second, is take about 5 minutes and write down as many addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division words that you can think of. If you can think of anything else, there's just a couple examples of symbols there under other. Write those down as well. So Miss Booth, if you would go ahead and pause this for about 5 minutes, give them a chance to work, that would be fantastic. All right, so you should all have a pretty good list right now. What I'd like you to do is just list out, Miss Booth, if you could write them on the board, that would be great. Anything that you have for addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So if you could do one at a time, you can pause the video, list things out, and then we'll see how good of a list you came up with. So go ahead and pause it now. All right, so I'm going to go through and list out some for each of these categories. If you don't have some of them, definitely add them to your list. If you have repeats, that's fantastic. You should have had a pretty good list because you were working as a class to figure it out. So under addition, you have things like plus, sum, total, added to, in all, more than, a gain of, additional, altogether, combined, how many altogether, how many in all, how much altogether, increase of, and increased by. Those are all things for addition. If you have other ones on there, when I come back, let me know so that I can add them into this for next year. Here are some subtraction words. So if you need to pause it, take a second and look over them. I'm not going to read them all. One that I would definitely not add, though, is I would not add save. That's not one that you need on there. Okay, here's some for multiplication. Not as many here. One that's not on that list that you could add would be each. So if you have two things and they each weigh 3 pounds, then they'd weigh 6 pounds altogether because you'd multiply them together. And here's some for division. A big one would be per. right there. And then there's this category other. So I've listed some here. So if you ever see things like the quantity of something, the quantity of x plus 5, that means it's in parentheses. So 4 times the quantity of x plus 5 would be 4 times the quantity of x plus 5. So it puts that in parentheses. Equals is equal to, total, those would all mean use the equal signs. And then these two, this really messes people up for some reason. So you have is greater than and is less than. Now don't confuse this second one with less than. Less than means subtraction. Is less than means this symbol right here, the is less than symbol. Okay, then we have squared, which means having an exponent of 2. We have cubed, which means having an exponent of 3. You have radical something would mean it's under the square root, or the square root of something means it's under this crazy little house here. So you can add those into your others. If there's anything else you can think of, share it now, and you can add it on. And definitely let me know so that, again, I can add it in for next year. So what I'd like you to do now is take maybe about 5 minutes. Take about 5 minutes and go ahead and do numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So if you could pause the video, that'd be great. Okay, so the first one, translate the following from written phrases, so the words, into numerical expressions. So the first one there says 6 is less than 3 times a number. So 6 is less than means this symbol, 3 times a number. And anytime you see a number, it sounds kind of weird, but it means put a variable in there. So something like 3x. The second one, 4 times the sum of a number and 3. So 4 times the sum of a number, let's use m, and 3. Sum means addition. And if you're doing 4 times that sum, it means you have to put it in parentheses. The quotient of 6 and a number is 12. The quotient, well, quotient means division, of 6 and a number, so 6 divided by, let's say, a number y, is 12. So that will be those first 3 there. The next 3 here are going the other way, so they might have different options here. Translate the following from numerical expressions to written phrases. So you can do these easy, or you can try and be a little creative and do them a little more difficult. So the first one says 9 times t minus 15. And if you can read it out loud, you can write down the words, and that's exactly what it should look like. Second one is a little trickier because we have some parentheses there and an equal sign. So it will be something like 4 times the quantity of x and 1 is, and I'm going to run out of room, so I'm just going to write 9. 4 times the quantity of x and 1, of x plus 1, sorry, that should say the quantity of x plus 1, is 9. And then the last one down here would be the product of 10 and m minus 1 is greater than 16. So there's some examples you can go through. What I want you to do next is actually going to be your classwork, and then whatever you don't finish is going to turn into homework. So the homework is on the worksheet, the blue worksheet that was in your folder, and there are 30 questions there. Some of them are really quick. There's some matching, but you need to work on that for the remainder of class. and then whatever you don't finish again is going to turn into homework. This will be collected tomorrow and it will be graded, so make sure you take some time on it, check your answers with other people. But other than that, I will see you in a couple days. Remember, again, tomorrow you're going to be doing a review activity, and then on Friday you are going to have a test. So again, do your homework tonight, look over everything with fractions and word problems and translating here so that you're prepared for your test on Friday.